Hey guys, Flabaliki here today, and welcome to my magnum opus, the best thing I've ever created. Now, as a child, I'm sure lots of you may have had or interacted with this beautiful masterpiece, this rug, this car mat. I swear, like, everyone knows of this, or at least has seen it before. If you didn't have one yourself, one of your friends had it. And I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, why can't I just build this in Cities Skylines? So that is what we're gonna do. The cool thing about it is actually just a repeating pattern. Like if you look at the image, which I'll link down below as well, just so you can whip up the image if you want to see it. It is basically it's a pretty small pattern of repeating roads and buildings. Like in the same image, we can see two airports, I think two hospitals, and like a bunch of stuff that just repeat. Oh, two like lakes and everything as well. But anyway, you know, ignoring that, we're going to try and build what we can see on that image, which is, it was actually kind of fun. It's really silly. Obviously, I also take some, you know, creative liberties because we need to have some buildings in this place. Also, some of the buildings are like a chapel, I think, like a church or something, which we don't have. I mean, I could have downloaded an asset, but I figured we might as well just put housing there because I think there was like one house on the rug, on the mat. Let me have a look, actually. From what I could tell, there's like, okay, I think that's a house. I'm not going to look at it now. I think there's like one house. There's like a school and then maybe a church or something. I don't know. It's not really. I mean, there's two airports in this tiny city, which, by the way, I do put in two airports. We do one passenger and one cargo airport. But, you know, the scale is a little off. It doesn't really fit. And I took the buildings to be representative of a whole, like, city block. You know, that's why I sort of zoned in a bit more than we would have otherwise. Now, the other thing I was trying to do, obviously, besides getting the roads pretty much spot on, like that's what I was trying to do, even the position of the roads on the roundabout where it's sort of like there's like the weird section at the bottom where the road sort of comes, I don't know. All these roads are quite strange. I was also trying to make sure that when they went off the edge of, well, I guess the edge of what we can see, that they sort of lined up with the other roads, because if you had multiple of these mats, you could just put them together and they would continue joining and it would all work, which was actually really, really cool. And that was the best thing about this. And I think they probably had different designs. If I recall correctly, they had like different ones, but if you just got the same one over and over again, it would just like line up perfectly. Now, I don't think this is exactly perfect if you decided to copy and paste it, but it's pretty close, and you can sort of like move the roads a little bit to get them all to fit. And you know what? This is a totally usable city, albeit I'm obviously using unlimited money, so it won't make money. But you know, that wasn't really the point of this. The point of this was just to see if I could build it in cities. I'm using basically, I think I'm using one custom road in this, which is the road with no sort of sidewalk on it. Like that's the only custom thing I'm using in this, I think. I'm looking at it. I think that's it. Just because I needed that road for like where the hospital sits. It sort of sits on this side road, and then like I think the parking lots as well. I didn't have any custom parking lots, so I just used a road and just did it that way. And I also just like leveled the entire place because I figured it was going to be easier if this is all in a flat plane, so that we could sort of build around it. Oh, this little fountain here as well. I even put like the tree. There's like 4 trees around it at the bottom for some reason. Now, obviously the perspective. Oh, and also the scale of everything is so far off. But you know. If I don't even think you could do it at the same scale. I mean, maybe it'd be, but it doesn't really make any. It doesn't. You know what? It doesn't make any sense. It's a kid's toy mat. Like, it's never gonna make sense. So I did a sort of similar pathway around the back of the hospital, like they have in the actual one, and all that kind of stuff. Like I got all the key buildings in their locations. But like I said, you can actually see like 2 hospitals. I didn't do a second hospital because I figured it's mostly off the edge. So I was like, forget that. But I did do the 2 airports. So this is where one of the airports goes, and this is when I quickly realized, it's a little big. But there's not really anything I can do about it, so it kind of just has to go there because that's where the airport goes. And I just made sure to like level out a lot more space to get it to fit in. And it's also on this like tiny little road as well. Like that's why I'm using that sort of road with no pathway on it, because it's just like if you look at it, it just comes off and it's just like a little road, no sidewalks. And then this bit here, this is actually I think the same road as the one the airport is built on. This is just up the top where it repeats. So you can see like it's kind of in the same spot, but like I said, it's not exactly repeated, which I think, I don't know. I don't even know if you could do that. I don't even think this thing lines up perfectly anyway as it is. I think it gets close, but there's definitely some things that aren't fully there, I think, which is, I don't know. It was hard. Also the lakes. So there's like 2 little lakes that you can see, which we're trying to do. there's no way I could get the same detail at that size of lake because they're really small. So they're kind of just like a splodge of water. So they kind of fit in that way. And then obviously we needed like water and power and all that. And none of that is visible. So I just kind of put a water tower in there and I just did a couple of wind turbines off the edge of the map just so we could get everything functioning and actually have people moving in and living here. And I wanted people, because we have to build 2 car parks or parking lots. And I wanted people to use them. But the other one, I sort of banned parking in the entirety of the city, except for on those roads that are supposed to be parking lots. But I don't think they really use them. I think they just park in the spots on the building they're going to, which is a shame. But, you know, we tried. It's just this whole thing is just really silly, to be honest. It's just for a bit of fun. I was like, you know, what can I do in Cities Skylines today? Maybe recreate the world's greatest mat ever. It is pretty great. And I was almost considering buying a new one for my place, but I was like, what the hell am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it? How am I going to buy that? So instead I thought, let's just build it in cities. And I was making sure to set up the roundabout correctly, because I also realized that we were actually getting traffic in the city of 300 because I didn't set up that roundabout properly. So I was like, yeah, let me just make sure that actually works. And then we're having some garbage. So there's actually, I think, a bus stop marked where I put that recycling center. But I figured, I mean, there's really no point in having a bus here. Also, there's only one stop on the mat, so I was like, let's not do another one. I just put a recycling center there instead, which actually works quite well. And this is sort of where I'm going through and banning all the parking because I want them to park on the parking roads. But you can see most of the cars are just teleporting to parking spots inside of buildings rather than the other roads, which is a, you know, bit of a shame, but it kind of works. Yeah, so the second airport as well that I put in was a cargo one. I don't really know if I use it, but look, the city's really small. What, we got like 600 people? Like, it's not exactly... I think at the end of this, there's like 1,000 people. So it's like, they're not really ever going to use those things anyway. I guess we could like disconnect the highway connection and just have them come in by plane and deliver by cargo boat. So here's where I decided to copy and paste the bit from up the top so it was exactly the same. And then I sort of plugged the roads into it. So I figured that was a nice way to make sure that it actually joined. Although, it's sort of, yeah, that bit there should lead into another roundabout just below it. But, you know, I didn't bother doing another roundabout because I was like, I don't want to go too far because we basically just want to do the bit that we can see. And then that's how it's going to be. And yeah, so this is like the parking lot that I was building with these little roads. They can actually, you can see there's actually cars parking on them. They can actually park there because there are parking spots, but they usually don't because it's pretty far away from where they're going. But they can, you know. And then again, I thought I'd just like copy and paste it down the bottom just so we have the exact same one. Because again, that is visible just off the edge of the map there. And we sort of just have to position it in. And then we can watch no one use it. But I guess that's pretty much it for the time lapse of building this, I don't know, car mat that everybody had growing up. I don't know. There it is. A bunch of trees. It looks pretty good. It's pretty sweet though. So I figured we'd just check it out in game. You look at it like this, you're like, that looks like nothing. Do you reckon anyone would like recognize this if you just showed them like this? I mean, probably not. Maybe even a bit more of an angle where you get the hospital and then like the fire department. Like you can see, like it's all there. I think especially if we do get the angle and then you can see these buildings and they are in the same spots. The fire station is way bigger than that on the actual map. The hospital's there. That's actually pretty good. You can't see the pathway behind it though. I think this is a pretty good position to sort of see everything. Oh man, the countless hours of fun I had playing with this thing growing up though. I don't know. I thought I thought it'd be fun to try and build this. And it was. I kind of wish the airport, we could do something about the airports because the terminal really needs to be like here and then the runway this sort of needs to be at one end. You know, what if we just move it? Will that work? How do so I want to move. Oh yeah, nodes and segments. Can I just, oh no, we're gonna have to do it like this. We can just do this. Hooray! And then, hang on, buildings, just like that as well. And then move this here. Hooray! And then deselect the building, and then select these again, and then what it needs to go around here. So there's no way that this is gonna work. Like, surely that's not gonna continue functioning. But if that does work, that's kind of what it should be. If I had the custom airport roads and custom terminals, then we could actually build it properly. It is now powered, but usually if you mess around with all the points on an airport like that with move it will just stop working. So that might not work. This airport's working though. It is not in a good position with the turbines right there. Oh my god, are you kidding me? No way. That actually worked. It looks terrible though because it has to like crash into the terminal. All right. All right. Yeah, that's even better. Then now it actually is in like the same spot. Oh, that's awesome. This one I sort of flipped the other way around because it couldn't really fit here because it needs to be like this, but even smaller. All right, hang on. Let's move this. So if we move this, okay, I need to make sure I don't destroy everything. We'll put it there. Then we're going to go move it. Okay, so we're going to bring this in closer because it needs to be a little bit closer to where we want it to be. And bring this in actually, you bring this like this. Then maybe if we just bring this point along, then we move the whole building. It still doesn't quite fit with that road there. Maybe we just shove it up here and we'll have to move the road a little further back, I guess, but it's better than it not working, or not looking at all like it. Okay, so it is definitely a little off where this one is. We have to adjust the roads a little bit. But if that, because what's supposed to happen, this road is supposed to come in front of the terminal, and then this is on the other side, but we can't really do that. Here we go. If I move these along as well, then it won't be as dumb. If that even still works, I don't know. I might have just completely broken these two, because like I said, messing around with them, it doesn't really work that well. But now that they're there, now we got two like that's how close the airports are on this actual thing. I'm just really hoping we get planes coming in here. Come on, baby. You know what? I think we're running out of power. Oh no, people are dying. The original map didn't have a cemetery on it, so I'll just put a crematorium there. Okay, come on. Land. What if I destroy the road connection so the only way in or out is via the airports? Maybe that'll force them to work. It's a sad day in Karmat City. I don't think the airports are working, unfortunately. There's not much I can do about it. It worked at one point, and then oh, no way! It works! I mean, it parks strangely, but it totally works! I didn't... Wait, oh my god, there's another one coming in! No way! Oh, that's sweet. Okay, so this actually does work! I don't know about this one. I haven't seen anyone come in here yet. But that might also be because we have no tourists and no one is moving in. Ah, glorious day in Karmat City! Right, let's build a new thing here and see if people will move in. It says we're getting people moving in. I just don't know where they are. Okay, there's definitely people in these. Or at least it says there's households in them. But we've not actually seen them arrive to the city. I don't know if this one works. But there you go. I mean, if we align the camera just right, we get a pretty good comparison to the actual thing. And I couldn't be happy with it. It's so silly, but I think it turned out pretty well. I think that turned out pretty well for a stupid idea. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave your comment suggestions and feedback down below. And if you have any other suggestions of things I should build, let me know. But thanks for watching. I will see you next time, and have an awesome day.